closer to being dashing.
Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's Class of 1333. I'm going to do a TNA Impact review today. Not going to do like a big full depth in view as far as like in-ring action goes, because I didn't think the show was like the matches they did have, they weren't bad, but it was like this Impact was kind of like hit and miss. It was entertaining, but it wasn't like the greatest show in the world. So I'm gonna make some lunch here, so if you hear some nice loud sizzle noises, that's what it is. Making bratwursts, America's favorite food. So, of course, this had to be fun. They're still slightly frozen, so I'll probably get to mess with them for a little bit. So we start the show off with the Mortal like coming out into the ring, and they're basically trying to get Scott Steiner on their team. And Steiner comes out and he does a decent promo with them, but obviously he doesn't join them or something. And then basically to sum it up, it's just another promo or whatever for "they are coming" or something. So I don't know. Could have did without that. Steiner's like okay on the mic, kind of when he wants to be, but I just didn't really care for this promo. So then we open the match up. We had Gunnar Murphy against Inked Inc. I don't know if this was like a big return for Inked Inc. or anything, because they really haven't been on TV much like in the last couple of days or anything. But we're not days, but weeks, But this match was okay. Like, it was like 4 minutes. Pretty much it was just Gunnar and Murphy like beating down Jason Neal with like clotheslines and boots to the face, and then Shannon Moore got a tag in and clean house for a little bit, and then they wind up hitting the Morgasm. So they beat Gunnar and Murphy, which really anybody could do. So it was okay. If I had to rank it, I'd give it like maybe a 2 out of 5. I guess it wasn't like the greatest match or anything. So then we had Christy Hemme live in Texas or whatever outside the courthouse, which is the whole Dixie Carter, Hogan, Bischoff thing, them suing each other to get control of the company or whatever. Which is funny how it's supposed to be like a big deal and exciting, but there's like no actual like footage of any of this like on the show, except being outside live in front of a courthouse. But what's funny is like actually in Texas, like right now there's like they're getting a lot of snow and stuff. And like when you look in the background, it's like there's no snow whatsoever, so it's like, not really live at all. So Impact is taped, but they could have just been outside some random courthouse like in Orlando, which they probably were. So I didn't really see the point of it. Then we had Eric Young promoting "they" or something. He saw them, and Taz was like, "Well, can you tell us who it is?" He's like, "No, they kill me, or something." I didn't really think it was that funny. Sometimes Eric Young is funny, but I don't know. I just hate that he's back to doing the retarded gimmick thing he's doing again. Like, I kind of wish he was like, I don't know, World Elite. Remember when he was leader of World Elite? It's like they had something going pretty good with him when he was in World Elite. But, oh well. Alright, next we had, I'm not even going to go through all these segments, but we had Karen and Jeff Jarrett reality TV show 1 or something. Now, normally I actually liked this storyline, but it looks like they're going to like start involving like, they're going the WWE route where it's like they have like the bullshit reality TV segments or whatever. Actually, WWE doesn't do this, not anymore, but they're going to do like renew their wedding vows, I think, next week on Impact or something. So, completely like, Triple H, Stephanie McMahon bullshit. But, even that was probably better than what TNA is going to do with this. So I pretty much lost my interest in this storyline. So, and it's weird, too, because they're having Kurt Angle involved with "they" now. So, it's like, even though him and Jarrett are still feuding, it's like they didn't even, like, really do a whole lot with their feud this week, per se. So, I don't know. I didn't like that. Next, we had Bully Ray and the Pope. It was supposed to be a tag match. It was supposed to be Bully Ray and the Pope against Samoa Joe and Devon, but the tag match never happened. Basically, Bully Ray was ripping on Devon in a promo, and then the Pope was ripping on Joe in the promo, and then Joe come out and chased off the Pope, and then Devon comes out and he fights with Bully Ray for a little bit, and basically like he's beating him up for a bit, and then Bully Ray like takes off running, but before he takes off, he like throws water like in Devon's son's face, and Taz is like, "Holy shit, I can't believe he threw water in his face," or whatever. Made it sound like all shocking, but it's like, dude, it's just water in the face. Like, if I was gonna throw some canola oil in somebody's face or something, that would be a lot worse, I guess. I don't know, like, it wasn't really shocking to me, so I don't really see like why it was such a big deal. So, anyway, next we had like a really good match, like a good Impact match or whatever. It was X Division stuff. It was Jeremy Buck versus Jay Lethal versus Douglas Williams, and it's like round 2 of like determining number 1 contender for the X Division title, because whoever wins next week's match between, I think it was Robbie E, Brian Kendrick, and returning Suicide. Whoever wins that, they're gonna have like a triple threat, I guess, at Against All Odds, and then whoever wins that's gonna finally face Gazarian for the title or something. So, but it was a pretty good match overall. The finish of it was Jeremy Buck, like Matt Buck was like distracting the ref or something, and then Jeremy Buck came in and like kicked Douglas Williams in the groin after he hit like the Rolling Chaos suplex, and then after he hit him in the groin, he like rolled up Jay Lethal and pinned him. So, even though technically it's cheating, but it's a triple threat match, and it never really ends like triple threat matches like in a DQ or anything. So I was kind of confused as to how it could have potentially been a DQ. So, but whatever. It was a good 5-minute match. Gave it a 3 out of 5. Next we had Fortune backstage with Bischoff, and Bischoff's or AJ was basically saying we don't take a back seat to nobody. So yeah, it kind of goes to the end of the show. So, next we had 2 little Anderson and Jeff Hardy promos. Basically, they I've had a video package of them, talking shit about each other, and then they had an actual promo. And basically, to sum that up, Anderson wanted to fight Hardy one-on-one, no interference, and then Hardy agreed to it, and then they had a backstage thing where he was talking to Bischoff and said he wanted to do it, and then Bischoff was ticked off at him, but he's fine, whatever. So, but then it winds up actually not being like that, but I'll get to that in a little bit. So then we have Sarita versus Mickie James in a taped fist match. I did not like the whole taped fist idea, at all. It was stupid. Kind of really made no sense to put a random gimmick match, because these two aren't even really feuding at the moment. It's basically it's Madison Rayne and Mickie James feuding with each other, and then it's Sarita and Velvet feuding or something. So the whole gimmick thing was kind of dumb. Then you also got to look at it. It's I was kind of okay, it's a taped gimmick thing or whatever, but are they really going to go with the stupid finish though? Are they really going to go with the stupid finish of one punch is going to knock out somebody? And yeah, they pretty much did. So, because the match itself was good for most of it. Pretty much Mickie and Sarita were beating each other up, having an actual worthwhile wrestling match. And then Sarita started working on Mickey's hand because Mickie accidentally punched the steel post and hurt her hand, and then Sarita started working her on her arm for a little bit. So I thought that was fine, Obviously, if you have a weak arm, you can't throw a good punch and whatnot, right? So, but then it was just she worked on her arm for most of the matchup, and then she kept acting like she was just gonna knock her out at random. So, and then they decided that one punch was gonna knock out somebody. So, pretty much Mickie James knocked out Sarita and won the match. So, didn't like that at all. I thought the ending was stupid. So, match-wise itself, I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5 just for that shitty ending. So, then we pretty much had after the matchup, Addison Rain came out from the crowd and knocked out Mickie with a loaded glove. Now, yeah, that's kind of one thing too. I don't like the whole loaded glove thing, but I can kind of somewhat get behind that a little bit more than the whole one punch from a taped fist could knock out somebody. I don't know. The only person that ever did a good power of the punch gimmick was William Regal, and he used to use brass knuckles, and they always zoomed in and showed the brass knuckles. So, if they want to do the whole one punch could knock out somebody, they need to incorporate the whole brass knuckle thing. So they really need to steal William Regal's idea, or WWE's idea, or whoever idea it was to use the brass knuckles in the first place. So then we had our main event, which was actually a pretty good match. 3.5 out of 5 I give it. It was Anderson versus Hardy in the main event, and pretty much the match before the match started, there was a brawl between the two because Hardy jumped Anderson on the way out, and they were brawling for a bit, and then security, including I don't know, the backstage guys, Al Snow and Simon Diamond, they came out and was separating them, and then we started the match, and then it was back and forth for a bit, and then like Anderson like took over for a bit, and then Hardy took over for a bit, and was basically working on Anderson for a while. Like he stopped him with like a, he like grabbed his legs and shoved him like his groin into the ring post, which Taz was calling like a leg breaking move or something, or working on his leg, but it was clearly like even TNA was like, or getting crotch, getting your crotch slammed into the groin was like painful too. So yeah, I don't know what match Taz was watching on that. So and then basically like Hardy was taking over for a while, and then Anderson started making the comeback, and he well. My cat decided to pay me a visit. So, basically, Anderson took back over and was fighting him off, and then Hardy hits like a twist of hate, and there was like a ref bump. So then Immortal comes out. It was like Matt Hardy and Gunner and Murphy, and they beat up Unfortunate. They start to beat up Anderson for a little bit, and then like AJ's about to hit Anderson, but then he stops, and then they do like the whole like fortune sign or whatever, and then they beat up. Like they start beating up the rest of Immortal, and then afterwards there's a promo basically, like why Fortune is like turning on Immortal, and then AJ and Bischoff are arguing, and AJ's basically saying that Hogan and Bischoff coming into TNA was bullshit from the get-go. It was a poison or something, and pretty much that's who they are. It's basically just Fortune and Crimson and Angle and Scott Steiner. So now it's like the good guys have too many guys. First it was the bad guys have too many guys, and now the good guys do. So yeah, overall, Impact wasn't great. It was still entertaining, but it wasn't like really a great show. So I don't know. I think I would have rather pet my cat more than watch Impact. So, but yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.